Long form video is the new era of selling online. Have you ever thought about how movies just completely died the last few years? For a long time, movies dominated the entertainment industry. I looked it up and it was almost 100 years. And now they're practically dead. But I feel like no one's talking about why. Well, think about it. With shows and show series especially, you can binge them. And so a movie only has you for like a couple hours, but a show has you for weeks, sometimes months. And so more time equals stronger relationship. The movie companies and the apps and the platforms know this. They understand that if we have more time and build more relationship with you, then guess what? Like, you're gonna be more hooked and we're gonna have a chance to be a part of your life. So now that you've got the right people in your audience, after the first video talked about the core ad, the next step is to spend time with those people using long form content. And that way they can feel your vibe, they can understand your approach, and they trust you enough to become your clients without needing a bunch of sales calls. How do I know this? Well, I've built my coaching business to 7 figures, and this approach that I'm gonna share, it actually gave me way more freedom than any other strategy that I used before. And trust me, I've tried almost all of them. So I'm about to show you the 3 components of long form and a very simple way to set it up in your coaching business so that you can book more dream clients and do it on autopilot. So here's the reality. Google did this huge study called Zero Moment of Truth. It said that people needed about 7 hours with a brand before they're ready to buy. But the thing that no one tells you is that was in 2011, years ago, and the study was focused on products, people buying products. And so just think about the difference. In today's world, when you're talking about a high ticket coaching service, something that's really squishy, something that's ambiguous, you can't just like click and see the picture. I think it's actually closer to 20 hours of interaction, not just 7. People are just highly skeptical. They've been burned so many times. Half the internet doesn't even feel real anymore. Versus, a scenario like my wife, she loves someone called Kendra Adachi. Maybe you've heard of her. She has this podcast about like productivity. And my wife's always quoting Kendra, telling me about her productivity hacks. The point is, my wife isn't just learning from Kendra, she feels like she knows Kendra. And that's the power of long form content. So she's spent hours and hours with her content, even though I've said the same productivity hack, it doesn't matter. She feels connected to Kendra, and that's what sticks. So the same thing actually happened for me with a coach that I was binging on YouTube for months. It was about 9 months, and I felt like I got to know him. He became like a significant figure in my life. And I even implemented a lot of his ideas in my business before I ever bought a thing from him. By the time I was ready to hire my next coach, the choice was super obvious to me. I actually thought about it one day, like, okay, there were a few different people I was considering, and I realized that this isn't even a question. I already know who I'm going with. And I spent $25,000 on his coaching program without even talking to him once. No sales calls, no funnel stuff. I just DM'd him and I said, I'm in. To me, it's kind of like at a restaurant. Like the person I bought from, he let me sit down, have some drinks, appetizers. So of course I'm staying for the whole meal there. Versus, some restaurant I just saw an ad for. But here's the problem. The old funnel model, it only gives people like 1 or 2 hours with you max. You click, you get a landing page, maybe a VSL, maybe a sales call. And so it's usually like this rushed high pressure format. Plus that model requires you trading your time for money. So even if you're successful, you get burnt out. So just look at the math here. To get to 20K a month in your business, let's say you need about 20 clients. That usually means about 100 sales calls, which is maybe 100 hours, not including all the no-shows, the reschedules, the follow-ups. So now you're at, if you do the math, 3 full days a week just on sales calls. I remember when I hit that phase, my calendar was packed. It's like call after call after call. And there was this one moment at the end of the day, the last call finished, and I just leaned back in my chair. I was like, I cannot do this again tomorrow. Not because I didn't care, but because I just had nothing left. And that's when it hit me. This thing does not scale. This approach does not feel like freedom. And that's what I got into this whole thing for. So instead of all of that complicated, overwhelming stuff, we do something radically simple. We create a long form video series that feels like a bunch of real relaxed conversations. that's what you're watching right now. So if you feel that way, case in point, this is not a funnel. This is not a pitch. It's just me giving value, sharing everything I can with you. And so what it's doing is I'm basically recreating with you that connection that would happen like at a coffee shop conversation. But the beauty is, instead of 1-to-1 and 2 hours of my time, it's scaling it. So I can have like 1,000 of these kind of coffee conversations every day while I'm off doing other stuff and while I sleep. The CoreVideo gives your audience the ability to spend time with you, understand how you think, see how you solve problems. And by the time they're ready to buy, they already trust you. They're already bought in. You don't have to convince them. You don't have to cajole. And this is why we use what I call the CoreVideo Protocol. It's honestly the most powerful asset you can have as an entrepreneur because it's doing the work for you. So I'm about to walk through that, but just in case you haven't got a chance to meet me, my name's Steve Perkins. I'm the founder of Greenhouse Coaching. I help coaches scale to their next 20K a month without rebuilding the corporate life they finally escaped. And this is video number 3 of a 5-part series where I'm just walking you through everything that I learned that you need to get to your next 20K a month. So the link's in the description to get all of the videos in your inbox. All right, let's dive into the simplest way to convert through long form video. This is called the CoreVideo Protocol. All right, so quick reminder on the trust cycle, because everything comes back to this. We are building an audience of perfect fitting clients with the core ad. Then we're getting them over to the CoreVideo to nurture them, which we're talking about in this video. Allows them to spend time with us at scale, so when they're ready, they can purchase our core offer. Start getting transformation and real results in our hybrid program, so we can share stories of their wins and their successes that feeds our marketing again. All powered by CTAs at the right point. So you're going to see how this works today in the CoreVideo series. All right, let's talk about the 3 components of the nurturing step. So first you have your CoreVideo, then you have organic, and then you have your email list. Now, all 3 of these play a different role in nurturing your audience. And so we want to do each one specific to its purpose. So the first one is all about conversion. Your CoreVideo is the thing that shares everything about your method, your vibe, your approach, your results. And so it serves kind of like a VSL used to be, where people get all the information. They get to essentially like ask you all their questions without talking to you, and you're addressing their objections too. And so this video gives them everything. You're not holding any information back, because people don't buy information anymore. They want access to you, and they want to see how you do things. So we do this in 2 versions. The first version, when you're starting out, is just 1 video. And this serves as the place that you're pointing people from your short form all the time. It's linked all over the place. A lot of your posts are pointing them to it through ManyChat or some kind of automation, and you're getting people to that video, racking up views. Then, after you're ready, you create a video series like you're watching with me now, because this gives you more touch points and more chances to build up trust and share more information with them. Then after that video or that series, you're dropping them into your organic weekly videos where you can nurture. And this is great because now they're on your YouTube, they're subscribed, they're able to kind of spend more time with you on different topics. And so the way I recommend is every week you drop a long form video. This kind of keeps you consistent, building up all of those hours of watch time. But also what you can do is share that video to your email list and on social. So again, this whole virtuous cycle. You don't need to write a separate email about other stuff. You just take that video, send it to your email list, and then that's getting them over to your YouTube. Then third is the CTA. So every long form video is having a CTA to get on your email list and to check out your core offer if they're ready. At the end, you can always point to your next video. And so you've got these CTAs baked in, and you're always moving them through the cycle. All right, and then your email list, the purpose is controlled nurture. So just like in short form, the organic is not really in your control. You're hoping for the best. You're doing everything you can to keep making it better. but the email list is the only piece you control. The platforms are always changing, but you own your email list and you can control how you distribute to them. So the first thing is, whatever that lead generator was, like your CoreVideo, you're going to deliver that as promised in their email and then drop them into a welcome sequence. I like to have the sequence be the video series, and then some of my top most popular content is also dropped in there, a few other emails after the initial series. So what you can do from there is have a regular weekly email like I talked about. Ideal thing is just sharing the new video that dropped, but always having those CTA in there for your core offer. The thing here to remember is you never know when someone's going to be ready. I always think about it like the car commercials. Like, why is it that auto companies still do commercials the same boring way? Because it works to just build that brand reputation. They know that the commercial isn't going to be the thing that you're like, oh, I got to immediately drop everything and go buy a car. They know they're just building that kind of brand trust and brand love so that when you're going to look for a car, you go to them. It's the same idea here. So what this ends up looking like is spending time with you at scale. You may have heard Google did a study in 2011 called the Zero Moment of Truth study. They looked at all the data they had, which is an insane amount of purchase data, to see what was it that got people from just interested to buying. And what they found was people needed 7 hours of time with your content across 4 different channels and 11 different touch points. And so at this point, people have the trust to purchase. Again, this is why the funnels don't work. They only give you like 2 hours max across 1 or 2 touch points. But here's the thing that no one talks about. This study was not only in 2011, but it was focused on products. And people buy products a lot quicker than services, because products, like, you can see it, you can, look at the description, the reviews. If I'm buying a pair of shoes, like, I see exactly what I'm going to buy. But something like coaching or consulting, it's invisible, it's intangible. We don't know, like, are you as good as you say you are? Are you going to actually deliver on your promises? And so I actually think this 7 hours goes up to more like 20 plus hours when it comes to our industry and our niche. And so that's the point of this CoreVideo series. We want to get to those 20 plus hours in a way that's actually like relevant to how they already consume their content. So one of the simple ways I learned to do this was tie everything together in your business. Whatever your foundational learning is for your clients, let's call it a course with some levels. These 6 levels here are going to tie directly to the videos in your series. And so you'll notice that if you join my accelerator, that the course levels are tied exactly to these videos you're watching, same topics, but they go into more depth of how to implement it. So now you've got your series that ends in your CoreVideo, and then the emails that correspond to those videos. So it's just really simple. There's a core pain point that your client has that you solve in this level, which you also talk about in this video, and you give it to them in this email, and you can even do posts aligned with it as well. And so the way I like to think about it is like this. I've got video 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and an email tied to each delivering those videos. So now you've just got a really clean, simple system. And if it's clean and clear to you, it'll be clearer to your clients as well. After that, you're just dropping them into your regular content. All right, this is all part of the Roots Up approach. And what we're doing in the Business Builder Accelerator is we're constantly moving from this chaotic overwhelm to a clean, clear system with 3 parts. These are timeless things. So even as the trends change, and even as, things like AI start to infiltrate everything, we have these steps that always work. Nailing your niche, so it's clear who you're talking to, having a consistent path to clients, and then simple systems to deliver quality results to them and have things like your finances buttoned up. So if you're ready for that, and this is the right time for you to grow to your next 20K a month, creating that freedom and that life aligned scale, then go over to Instagram, DM me grow20, and I'll send you all the info of what it looks like to work with me. Next up in our series is the core offer. And this is where it gets fun, because a lot of times as coaches we get scared about that moment of making the offer, and we botch our words and we get all awkward. So the core offer just fixes all of that, makes it very clear and very consistent how you share what you do, what it costs, how people can start working with you. And so that makes it simple and scalable. The way that we do this offer, though, is different than what a lot of coaches do. I know that things like cohorts, they don't work because you're trying to coordinate everyone's time and get people in at the same time. Then it's like a linear progression that assumes everyone's in the same place in their journey, and they're not. And so you just kind of lose the quality. But then you do one-on-one coaching and you just max out your time and you get burnout. And so the goal here is we want to scale without sacrificing quality. That way you can consistently enroll those perfect fitting clients and really enjoy working with them. So here's the next video, and you can check it out. If you're not already subscribed to get the series in your inbox, link is in the description. All right, let's go.